You've been giving away your power your whole life, and you didn't even notice it. Every time you reacted to someone who didn't deserve it. Every time you explained yourself to people who were never gonna understand. Every moment you wasted your energy on the wrong people. You handed them a piece of yourself, a piece of your power, a piece of your peace, and they took it. But today that ends. I'm about to show you 7 dark psychology tricks that Machiavelli himself refined. Tricks that'll teach you how to dominate without confrontation, how to win without fighting, and how to become completely untouchable simply by choosing when and to whom you reveal your presence. See, most people operate on autopilot. Someone insults them, they react. Someone questions them, they explain. Someone tries to drain their energy, they allow it. They think they're being strong by engaging. They think they're being smart by defending themselves, but they're wrong. The real power players, they move differently. They don't react. They don't explain. They don't waste a single second on people who don't matter. They guard their attention like it's the most valuable thing in the world because it is. Think about it. Every billionaire, every powerful leader, every person who's truly untouchable, they all have one thing in common. They're selective. They don't respond to everyone. They don't show up everywhere. They don't give their energy freely. And that's exactly what makes them magnetic. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He saw that power isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about proving yourself to everyone who doubts you. Power is quiet. Power is selective. Power is strategic. And today you're gonna learn how to use it. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down 7 lessons that will completely transform the way you interact with the world. You'll learn how to make people obsess over you without saying a word. You'll find out why silence is more dangerous than any comeback you could ever throw out. You'll understand how to pull back strategically so that people chase you instead of you chasing them. This isn't about being cold. This isn't about being cruel. This is about taking back control of your life. This is about operating from a place of power instead of reaction. This is about becoming the kind of person that others can't manipulate, can't control, and can't ignore. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my power. Let's begin. Number 1, guard your attention like gold. Let's start with the most fundamental rule of power. Your attention is currency. And just like money, the moment you start throwing it around carelessly, you go broke. Here's what nobody tells you. Every single time you give someone your attention, you're making an investment. You're spending your mental energy, your emotional bandwidth, your time, all of it on that person or situation. And just like any investment, you gotta ask yourself, what am I getting in return? Most people never ask that question. They give their attention to anyone who demands it. A hater drops a comment, they respond. A toxic person starts drama, they engage, someone disrespects them. They spend the next 3 hours crafting the perfect clapback. And what do they get back? Nothing. Absolutely nothing except stress, frustration, and wasted time. Machiavelli understood something that most people still don't get. The person who controls where their attention goes controls their entire life. Because attention isn't just about focus, it's about power. When you give someone your attention, you're giving them power over your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. Think about the people who constantly drain you. The ones who always have a problem, the ones who always need something, the ones who love to criticize everything you do. Now ask yourself, what have they ever given you in return for all that attention? Have they made your life better? Have they helped you grow? Have they added any real value? The answer is probably no, but they keep getting your attention anyway. Why? Because you haven't learned to be selective. Here's what the real power players do. They build a filter. Not everyone gets access. Not everyone gets a response. Not everyone gets their time. They ask one simple question before giving anyone their attention. Does this person deserve it? And if the answer is no, they move on. No explanation, no justification, no second thought. This is where most people mess up. They think they owe everyone their attention. They think they need to respond to every message, every comment, every attempt to pull them into drama. They think ignoring people makes them rude or weak. But it's the complete opposite. Ignoring the unworthy doesn't make you weak. It makes you untouchable. It shows that you value yourself enough to protect your energy. It proves that you're not available to just anyone who wants a piece of you. Imagine someone sends you a disrespectful message. Your first instinct is probably to fire back, to defend yourself, to put them in their place. But what does that accomplish? You just gave them exactly what they wanted. Your reaction, your energy, your power. Now imagine you don't respond at all. You read it, feel nothing, and delete it. What happens to that person? They sit there wondering why you didn't react. They check to see if you read it. They might even send another message trying to get your attention. And the whole time you're living your life completely unbothered. That's the power of guarded attention. You become a fortress that nobody can penetrate unless you open the gate. And you only open that gate for people who've earned it. From this moment forward, treat your attention like gold, because it is. And gold doesn't go to everyone. It goes to the worthy. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My attention is gold. Number 2, silence is your sharpest weapon. You know why people are scared of silence? Because they think it makes them look weak. They think if they don't respond, if they don't defend themselves, if they don't get the last word, then somehow they've lost. They believe that silence means surrender. But here's the truth that'll change everything. Silence is the most aggressive move you can make. Think about it. When someone comes at you with words and you come back with more words, what happens? You've entered their game. You're playing by their rules. You've given them exactly what they wanted, a reaction. And now you're both stuck in an endless back and forth that benefits nobody. But when you respond with silence, everything changes. The game stops. The power shifts. And suddenly they're the ones left standing there looking foolish, talking to a wall, getting absolutely nothing from you. Machiavelli knew this. He watched countless men destroy themselves by talking too much, explaining too much, reacting too much. And he saw the ones who rose to power were the ones who knew when to speak and when to stay quiet. Silence communicates something that words never can: complete indifference. It says, you're not worth my words. You're not worth my energy. You don't even register on my radar. And that destroys people more than any insult ever could. Let me break down why silence hits so hard. When you respond to someone, you're validating them. You're confirming that what they said mattered enough for you to craft a response. You're showing them that they got under your skin, that they affected you, that they won. But when you say nothing, you rob them of that validation. They're left in a vacuum of uncertainty. Did you see their message? Did it bother you? Do you even care? They'll never know. And that not knowing will eat at them more than any comeback you could have given. I've seen people spend days, sometimes weeks, obsessing over why someone didn't respond to them. They replay the conversation in their head. They wonder what they did wrong. They build entire scenarios trying to figure out what happened. All because of silence. That's psychological warfare without firing a single shot. Here's another thing most people don't realize. The more you talk, the more ammunition you hand your enemies. Every word you say is information. Every explanation you give is a weakness they can exploit. Every time you defend yourself, you're revealing what bothers you. But silence gives them nothing. They can't twist your words because you didn't say any. They can't use your emotions against you because you didn't show any. They're left completely powerless. Now, I'm not saying you should never speak. There are moments when your voice needs to be heard. But those moments should be rare and strategic. The rest of the time, let your silence do the talking. Because here's what the world will learn about you. When you do speak, it matters. Your words carry weight because you don't waste them. People listen because they know you don't talk just to fill the air. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is control. Silence is power, and silence is a weapon that never misses. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is power. Number 3, withdraw strategically, not completely. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think the goal is to disappear completely, to cut everyone off, to isolate themselves from the world and become some mysterious hermit that nobody can reach. That's not power. That's just running away. Real power comes from strategic withdrawal. It's about being physically present while staying emotionally untouchable. It's about showing up when it benefits you and pulling back when it doesn't. It's about making people feel your absence, even when you're standing right in front of them. Let me break down the difference. Complete withdrawal is what happens when someone ghosts you for good. They're gone. You move on, they become irrelevant. That's not power. That's just an exit. But strategic withdrawal. That's when someone is still in your orbit, but you've become unpredictable. Sometimes you're warm, sometimes you're cold, sometimes you're available. Sometimes you vanish. You're there, but you're not really there. And that creates something dangerous. Obsession. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He watched how the most powerful leaders held their influence. Not by being everywhere all the time, but by being selective about when and where they showed up. They created scarcity. They made their presence valuable by making it rare. Think about someone you're into. Now imagine they text you every single hour of every single day. They're always available. They always respond right away. They always make time for you no matter what. How do you feel about them after a week? Probably suffocated, maybe even annoyed. Their constant presence kills the mystery. Now imagine someone who texts you here and there. Sometimes they respond fast. Sometimes they take hours. Sometimes they make plans with you. Sometimes they're busy. You never quite know when you'll hear from them next. How do you feel? You think about them constantly. You check your phone hoping for a message. You wonder what they're doing when they're not around. That's strategic withdrawal at work, and it doesn't just apply to relationships. It applies to every area of your life. In friendships, the person who drops everything every time someone calls becomes the backup plan. But the person who's selective about their availability becomes the priority. Here's the key. You stay in the game, but you don't let the game run you. You show up, but on your terms. You engage, but only when it serves you. This creates something powerful in other people's minds. Uncertainty. They can't predict you. They can't control you. They can't take you for granted. And uncertainty breeds respect. When you withdraw strategically, people start chasing. They start wondering. They start valuing your presence because they know it's not guaranteed. Your absence becomes a statement. Your unavailability becomes attractive. Your boundaries become your power. You don't need to disappear from the world. You just need to make the world work to keep you in it. Be present, but be selective. Show up, but make them earn it. Stay in their lives, but never let them get comfortable. That's how you turn inaction into influence. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose my presence. Number 4, the mind-breaking effect of ignoring. You know what happens in someone's brain when they're ignored? Pure chaos. Their mind goes into overdrive trying to solve a puzzle that has no solution. They search for reasons, build explanations, create entire narratives, all desperately trying to figure out why you're not responding. And while they're burning mental energy on you, you're not thinking about them at all. That's the devastating power of ignoring. It's psychological warfare without you having to participate. They're fighting a battle inside their own head, and you're not even on the battlefield. Here's how it works. Human beings are wired for closure. We need answers. We need to understand cause and effect. When someone treats us a certain way, our brain immediately starts searching for the reason why. It's automatic. We can't help it. So when you ignore someone, when you give them absolutely nothing to work with, their brain short circuits. There's no closure, no explanation, no clear reason, just silence. And that silence becomes an open wound in their mind that never heals. Machiavelli saw this play out in politics constantly. He watched how leaders who responded to every critic, every attack, every rumor ended up trapped in endless cycles of defense. But the leaders who flat out ignored their enemies, those enemies eventually destroyed themselves through their own obsession and frustration. Imagine someone sends you a hateful message. They're trying to get under your skin. They want you angry. They want you to respond so they can feel important. So they can feel like they affected you. Now you have 2 choices. Option 1, you respond. You tell them off. You defend yourself. You try to hurt them back. And what happens? They got what they wanted. They got your attention. They got your energy. They got proof that they matter to you. Even if you won the argument, they still won because they successfully pulled you into their world. Option 2, you ignore them completely. You don't even acknowledge the message exists. And what happens to them? They sit there staring at their screen, wondering if you saw it. They check back multiple times. They might fire off another message. They tell their friends about it, hoping someone validates their anger. They think about you for days, maybe weeks. Meanwhile, you forgot about them 5 seconds after you saw the message. Who really won that exchange? When you ignore someone, you're essentially telling them they don't exist in your reality. You're erasing them. And that erasure is more painful than any insult, any argument, any confrontation. Because at least in a fight, they're acknowledged. At least in an argument, they're seen. But in silence, they're nothing. They're invisible. They're irrelevant. And their brain can't handle that reality. The best part? This works on everyone. Your haters, your critics, your toxic ex, your energy vampires, everyone who doesn't deserve space in your life. The moment you pull your attention, you pull their power. They become ghosts screaming into a void that doesn't care. You don't need revenge. You don't need the last word. You don't need to prove anything. Your indifference is the ultimate destruction. Your silence is the final blow. Your absence is their punishment. Let them obsess. Let them wonder. Let them break themselves trying to figure you out, while you keep moving forward like they never existed at all. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I erase the unworthy. Number 5, erase the unworthy completely. Now we need to get specific because not everyone deserves to be ignored the same way. There are 3 types of people you need to completely cut out of your life. And each one requires a different level of ruthlessness. First, your enemies. And I'm not talking about people who just disagree with you or compete with you. I'm talking about the ones actively working against you. The ones spreading lies about you, the ones trying to sabotage your success, the ones who smile to your face and stab you in the back. Most people make the mistake of trying to expose these people. They want everyone to know the truth. They want justice. They want to clear their name. But here's what Machiavelli would tell you. Engaging with your enemies validates them. It gives them a stage. It makes them relevant. Instead, erase them. Don't expose them. Don't fight them. Don't even acknowledge their existence. Keep winning. Keep building. Keep rising. And let your success be their torture. Let them watch you thrive while they're stuck in their bitterness. That's the ultimate revenge. Second, the critics. These are the people who have nothing to offer except negativity. They don't create anything. They don't build anything. They just sit on the sidelines tearing down everyone who's actually in the arena doing something. Here's the thing about critics. They need you more than you need them. Their whole existence depends on having someone to criticize. Without you, they're nobody. They have no purpose. So when you react to them, when you defend yourself, when you try to prove them wrong, you're feeding them. You're giving them the attention that keeps them alive. Cut them off, not with anger, not with explanations, just complete indifference. Let them scream into the void. Let them write their paragraphs. Let them gather their little support groups. While they're busy being critics, you're busy being successful. And success doesn't argue with criticism. It makes criticism irrelevant. Third, and this is the most dangerous one, energy parasites. These are the people disguised as friends. They're not obvious enemies. They're not loud critics. They're the ones who slowly drain you without you even noticing. They always have a crisis. They always need advice. They always have a problem that only you can solve. And you help because you're a good person. But here's what you need to realize. They never get better. The problems never end. The crises keep coming. Because they're not actually looking for solutions. They're looking for attention. These people are vampires. They suck your energy, your time, your mental space, and they give nothing back. And the worst part, they make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They make you feel selfish for protecting yourself. But you need to understand, protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's survival. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help others if you're drained. You can't be strong for anyone if these parasites have bled you dry. So here's what you do with all 3 categories. You erase them. Not dramatically, not publicly, quietly, completely, permanently. Stop responding to their messages. Stop showing up to their drama. Stop giving them any piece of your attention, your energy, your life. Treat them like they're invisible because to you, they should be. Your time is limited. Your energy is precious. Your attention is valuable. And none of it, absolutely none of it, should go to people who don't add to your life. Erase the unworthy. Make space for the worthy and watch how fast your life transforms. Let's talk about building the armor of indifference. The real reason people can manipulate, control, and drain you isn't because they're powerful. It's because you haven't built your armor, and that armor is called indifference. Now, let me be clear about what this means. It's not about being an emotionless robot or not caring about anything. It's about having complete control over what gets to affect you. It's about being so secure in yourself that outside chaos can't touch your inner peace. Think about it. Most people are emotional hostages. Someone insults them, their whole day is ruined. Someone questions their decisions, they're filled with doubt. Their emotions are completely at the mercy of other people's words and actions. That isn't power. That's slavery. Machiavelli watched powerful people fall, not because they were weak, but because they were emotionally predictable. Their anger, their pride, their need to be right, these were the weak spots their enemies used to destroy them. The ones who survived, the ones who thrived, they built emotional armor so thick that nothing could touch them. They cared about their goals and their vision, but they didn't care about the noise, the opinions, or the disrespect. They were untouchable. Not because nothing hit them, but because nothing stuck. So, how do you build this armor? Start by identifying your emotional triggers. What makes you angry? What makes you defensive? What makes you feel like you have to explain yourself? These are the cracks in your armor. Maybe your trigger is being called lazy. So every time someone even hints at it, you jump into defense mode. You've just given them power over you. Maybe your trigger is being misunderstood, so you spend hours trying to make people see your side. You've just handed them control of your time and energy. Now here's what you do with those triggers. You eliminate them. Not by avoiding the situations, but by becoming so indifferent to them that they stop being triggers at all. Someone calls you lazy, you know your work ethic. Their opinion is irrelevant, no response needed. Someone misunderstands you? People create their own narratives. Let them. Someone disrespects you? Their disrespect says everything about them and nothing about you. Move on. This is the armor. This is what makes you untouchable. When nothing external can mess with your internal state, you become impossible to manipulate, impossible to break, and impossible to control. People will test you. They'll push your old buttons, expecting the old reactions. And when they get nothing, when they see their tactics don't work anymore, they'll either respect you or leave you alone. Either way, you win. The armor of indifference doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you choose what you feel and when you feel it. It means your emotions serve you instead of running you. Build that armor. Strengthen it every single day. Go ahead and drop this affirmation in the comments. Nothing controls me. Now for number 7, ascend through calculated inaction. Most people think power is about what you do, how hard you grind, how much you fight, how often you prove yourself. But Machiavelli understood something crucial. Sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. Calculated inaction is the art of winning by doing nothing. It's knowing that some battles are won by refusing to show up. It's about having the patience to let some people destroy themselves without any help from you. Let's say someone is spreading rumors about you. The old you would panic, defend yourself, and try to control the narrative. You'd wear yourself out fighting a battle that doesn't even deserve your energy. The new you do nothing. You let the rumors run their course. You keep living your life with integrity, and what happens? The truth reveals itself without you saying a word. The people who matter already know your character, and the rumor spreaders eventually look foolish. You didn't waste a single ounce of energy. That's calculated inaction. Here's another one. Someone's trying to compete with you, copying your style, trying to one-up you. The old you would engage, try to stay ahead, and acknowledge the competition. The new you ignore them completely. You stay locked in on your own path. While they're busy watching you and trying to catch up, you're creating a distance they'll never be able to close. Not because you were trying to beat them, but because you were never racing them in the first place. This is the power of calculated inaction. You dominate without confrontation. People become obsessed with you because you're unpredictable. They can't figure you out because you don't react like everyone else. Your silence becomes legendary. Your absence becomes magnetic. While everyone else is burning energy on drama and fake battles, you're conserving yours for what actually matters. You ascend not by climbing over people, but by refusing to drop down to levels that don't serve you. Calculated inaction isn't laziness, it's strategy, it's wisdom. It's power in its purest form. In this video, you've learned to build the armor of indifference and to ascend through calculated inaction. These aren't just concepts, they are laws. And if you apply them consistently, your entire life will shift. People will treat you differently. They'll respect you more. They'll chase you instead of you chasing them. But this only works if you commit. It only works if you change your behavior starting right now. The next time someone tries to bait you into reacting, don't. The next time someone demands an explanation you don't owe them, don't give it. From this moment forward, you operate differently. You are untouchable. You attract through absence. You reign through silence. This is the ruthless art Machiavelli perfected, and now it is yours. So I'll ask you one final time. Are you ready to stop giving away your power? Are you ready to become the most untouchable version of yourself? If your answer is yes, then prove it. Drop "I am untouchable" in the comments right now. Make that commitment. Speak it into existence. And before you go, if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe. You're untouchable now.